Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. The end of the week is upon us, so it's time to talk about some manga chapters. And we'll start off with I would say, pretty simple one, all things considered, like even comparably to the other weeks that we had, and the other chapters we have this week, with "Tis Time for Torture Princess," chapter 248, titled "Torture 248." A chapter once again kind of makes you question how the heck is Princess even a prisoner anymore when she is literally starting a chapter off being thanked by one of her torturers about helping in the taking care of the animals. Because in this chapter, Princess comes to one of Krell's, I want to say, like, further departments or more isolated buildings to take care of some of the more wild animals. Because apparently Krell has like a bit of a different. There are like two types of animals that Krell has. Like there are the normal ones that she has for torture and construction work, but then she also has like those who are just very unsociable, like Kalchan, that's a punching kangaroo, who is so unsociable that anytime she sees someone that's not recognizable, or I think actually Krell just says every time it sees someone that's not herself, which is Krell, Cal-chan starts attacking, or at the very least starts becoming suspicious. Although, with how quickly Cal-chan went to attack, I imagine it's just punching that's immediate the response. But anyways, Cal-chan approaches as Krell's trying to calm her down, but it doesn't work, so Culture starts punching at Princess, but Princess is, despite her weakness when it comes to tortures and gullibility and all other, you know, in all other lack that she has in terms of her mental strength, as it's been proven in the last couple of chapters, she actually is pretty powerful. She is very OP. Like from a combat perspective, basic almost no one in the Demon Kingdom can actually went up against them. So Kao-chan's punches are essentially effortless towards Burns. Like Kao-chan does the whole epic multi punches that looks like you have 1,000 arms and all them punching you, but in reality it's just two armed being very quick, which Springe is just able to easily dodge. As she's like, oh wow, I actually did take on boxing a little bit, but the training was too hard, so I quit pretty quickly. But I did but it's kind of fun seeing it again. It does remind me of that. While she's effortlessly dodging this, so I'm going to assume that the problem with boxing was more like the training regimen itself rather than her not being able to handle it because with how effortlessly she's able to dodge. In fact, there's even like a big anime attack that Kalchan does, like the whole big anime punch, but it's so meaningless against Princess that it doesn't even need like an epic panel. It's literally just, it looks like it's gonna go for an epic strike, but then Princess is just like, oh, it's pretty done. It's even pointed out by Krell, like she's kind of shocked at how effortless that was. As then Kalchan after just gets the spawn and just kind of walks away. Squirrel asks if Princess is okay, and Princess says, "Yeah." Although I wish it would I would be a serious attack, or see a serious movements from Kalchan, which shocks Krill and Kalchan because this implies that Princess wasn't even aware this was her Kalchan actually going full out. Since Krill at the beginning said when she was hyping up Kalchan, saying how Kalchan is like super serious and sponges are super deadly and all that, but Princess was like, and how the punch is so fast that you can't even see with your eyes. But Princess was casually dealing with that, so she assumed those were just practice punches or something like that. But anyways, that information, the fact that Princess didn't even compete, that she was this. There was it was actually trying. The culture was trying going all out. Just makes the culture bow to their knee, put down on their knees as they are just like admitting their favorite, I think, drink or favorite substance, which ends with Kao-chan talking. So yeah, it's a simple, fun little chapter. Now it's time that we get into some serious shit with 100 girl offense. And that really, 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 really love you view chapter 192 titled Rentaro Family's Daily Life Part 6. You know, one 100 Girlfriend chapter reviewers actually made a video recently about how many chapters or volumes there could be until the end of the manga, and he said about he was having the volumes, if we go by a channel of new girlfriends being introduced plus a whole volume with the last girlfriend, it would be like around 93 volumes. And I feel like before we get, but even if that's not the case, I feel like before we get to the end, we're gonna have like part 400 or something of this of daily life chapters at this point, because I mean, my God, they're so goddamn, because we're already at 6. Which may not seem a lot because we are at 18 volume, but you know, it's not exactly look. I mean, we assume this chapter is gonna be for every volume, then we can pretty safely say there's gonna be a shit ton of them. But yeah, anyways, we start this chapter off with a Kuran and Akiko date or encounter, because it's been a while since we had these two being kind of together. Like, I mean, we did have a gal panel with them a couple of chapters back. I think it was like doing this uh, with Blossom chapter. But it's been a while since we had like the two of them interacting. So yeah, I think actually it wasn't until like the baby chapter was the last time they interacted together. But whatever. Anyways, we start the chapter off with kind of looking at like a little a little hat, with a little ribbon or those like little things the girls put on their hats that like I think suits their hair or something. I might die something okay, or straightens their hair or whatever. As then she's like, "Oh, this is so cute, but it's too cute for someone like me." Because Kanye has like a bit of a self the interpretation to her self to her appearance. But immediately the next day, it's revealed that Aqua also found those same headbands. I think they're headbands. I'm not entirely certain, honestly. And she bought two so that she and Karani can match. Which at first Karani wants to refuse, doing her old tsundere act. Which then there's like this. Then Aqua responds with, "Oh, you're so tsundere my dere," as Aqua Karani wants to refuse, but that she's now tsundere, which despawns Aqua. But then Karani gets flustered and and she apologizes to Aqua, saying, "No, I'm just a tsundere. It's fine. You were right. I'm just tsundere." Which then gives us a cute panel of Aqua and Karani matching with those hand ribbons, what they are called. As then I'm assuming in the manga, in the anime, it would be when this gets adapted, or if it gets adapted, it's gonna be Karani asking, well, saying thank you, Aqua. With Aqua then going for a hug. Hug be like, Karani! I think she's Karanichi or something, but regardless, it's a very cute panel between these two, and then we get to the next one, as then we get to I guess one of the questions that we got with after Saki's introduction was, why did Kurumi not refer to Saki as Saki Senpai, considering the fact that she does use honorifics with a lot of characters, which we do kind of get addressed in this chapter, because we start this chapter off with Kurumi like getting some candy that she really likes, so she gives everyone some kind to taste. Hopefully, there's enough for everyone and for Kurumi to then still have some afterwards. But whatever, she gives everyone. As then she gives, she first gives to Hahari and Yamame, who she also refers to as Senpai. But then she also gives a candy to Saki, who she just refers to as Saki. Which first Saki's very happy to get candy, but then she's like, "Wait a minute, why didn't you add a Senpai to me?" As then she looks at who at the other cow at Kumi, as she gives Kusuri candy, as Kusuri also isn't giving the senpai treatment, which then pisses Saki off, being like, "I'm on the same level as that gremlin," which Kusuri wants to object to that, but I mean, come on, Kusuri, you are a little gremlin. I think it wasn't like a couple of wasn't there even a couple weeks, I think a month or two ago, where someone on 100 Girlfriends Reddit put like a little character, which character embodies this thing. So when they had like a Gremlin type of character, and they put, and Kusui won that Gremlin vote. Although to be fair, Momochi also won the Gremlin vote in universe, but whatever. Like both the two are Gremlins. But anyways, and then Kurumi gives candy to Nadi and Tama, and she just refers to them normally as well, which then does calm Kurosaki down because, well, I guess if I'm on the same level as Tama and Nadi, then I suppose it's fine. And then like, oh, this candy is actually really good. So yeah, no, it's not directly addressed. Like Kurumi doesn't respond to that. It's just kind of sad. The a title for the chapter, well, for this story is so is it based on stupidity or vibes with Kurumi? So there's a bit of a question, but I'm going to have to assume it's vibes because, well, Kahai and Yamame are not like the smartest tools in the chat. I mean, well, I think Kahai is actually a decently intelligent individual. It's just that she uses mostly for horniness, but they are like average in terms of intelligence. Well, High is a little above, but Yama is definitely average level intelligent, so it's definitely a bit more of a vibe because at least like Hahari would she's not lustful for Rento or Karane. She's usually very level headed, so I guess it's probably just vibes. And also she gave it to Tama and not Natty, who is one's a cat and one's a fake American. You know, you kind of want to put. It's kind of like one of those things where you kind of have to. Okay, she clearly isn't in addressing everyone as senpai completely formally. So yeah, I do have to wonder who else she'll refer to as senpai because I do think she refers. I mean, she refers to Khan as senpai because I think there's like quite a few panels that she referred to her as senpai. Usually when they're ever there together, like I think in the season 2 there's gonna be like between I think sometime after May's introduction, before May's introduction, at the harem, Kumi's gonna be sorry, Kane senpai. I just got swapped in by all the admission of love. So she does just a few of them, but not the oldest ones. Which, to be fair, most of the older ones are kind of dumb. I mean, except for Yaku. But how does Kumi address Yaku? She might just refer to her. I think the addressment I remember from Kurumi to Kyoku is I think grandma or something. Because I think in Yaku's introduction she referred to her. Wait, no, wait. I can actually check this. Give me a minute to check to see how she referred to her in that chapter. Okay, I got volume 9. Let's see here. Kurumi, as Yaku's giving her candy, refers to her dearest grandmother. And then she basically goes granddaughter by massaging her shoulders. So yeah, I don't think she refers to her as grandma afterwards because granted I can't remember exactly when the two of them directly interacted, but I don't think she has to refer her to as grandma constantly because Kusei would get jealous. But who knows? Maybe that's going to be addressed at some point. But yeah, anyways, after this we didn't have a kind of a surprising chapter we didn't get beforehand with Momoha and Nadi going for dinner after school, which is kind of surprising. Which I'm kind of surprised this is the first time we had the two, and does actually kind of support my theory that Nozawa, no, Nakamura didn't realize, or at the very least hasn't. It didn't hit him in the head or her in the head or whatever. Didn't hit it that Nadi and Momoa would be working together despite two of them being teachers because before chapter with Usa when she was going through all the girlfriends, I think it's like the first time we actually have it be shown or addressed. Yes, Momoha and Nadi would be working together. So I feel like after that, Nakamura does kind of want to address it a bit more because it's the same thing as we got um in the chap in the chap which why am I blanking on what chapter I just had it in my head which one was it? Oh yeah, the when Saki was introduced chapter. In that chapter we had we had Nadia referring to Momora as teacher senpai, as in she's the elder teacher in between them in age and in experience. Because I think Nadi was like went this like her first work as in a school. So we had so yeah we had Momo. So we had that's like I think the second time into dress, and this is like the third time with the two of them going after school. No, I mean after school dinner together because they're just going to I think a ramen shop. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into the actual story of these two pages with Momoha and just enjoying the meal, but then they get drunk a little bit because of course they're gonna get drunk. You'd think at this point they would be forbidden from it, but I guess Momoha is drunk anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, they have their dinner, and then Nadi, because Nadi gets very depressed when she's drunk. She starts hating herself and depriving herself because of her being unable to speak English, despite her wanting to speak English. Which I don't think is a really a good reason why she's unable to speak English, because like the thing is, we never see her actually like study proper English. Like every time we see her, it's kind of like one of those like you learn it from television, which isn't the worst way to learn it, but you kind of think that someone like Nadi would, I don't know, maybe try to have late classes, like late classes, or some kind of classes that would help her study English. I mean, I feel like Hawaii wouldn't really have an issue with arranging something, especially now where they're all dating the same guy, so it's kind of odd, but whatever. She's killing herself as then Momoha, still being I'm assuming somewhat sober, is able to calm herself and saying, "Nah, don't worry, Nadi-chan. You're getting better. It's just a slow process. I mean, you're literally the second most traditionally Japanese girl in the family for crying out loud. The fact that you were trying to go from a only less traditional than a 89-year-old grandmother who is still wears kimonos in the current time period isn't exactly that is a very high scale of Japanese culture before you can to cross into American. And then Momora tells, all right, let's just go through some basic words, like some things that you just know. Like, for example, this egg. Well, how do you say this in English? As the Nani says, egu. As in, Momora's like, yeah, you see, you get what you're saying. Everyone would understand you mean egg. As then they put, I think, daikon or some kind of vegetable, some kind of Japanese vegetable. Doesn't have an official translation, I think, but there is a different way to refer to it, towards it. But the thing is, both Nadi and Momoa don't know how this vegetable should be called. They're like, wait, does this even have an English translation? Wait, I think I just gave her something that actually is not even a false question, anyways. Which kind of sounds like the teacher side of Momoa when you think about it. The fact that she gave an question that is technically a wrong answer, regardless of what Nadi says, but whatever. As then Nadi's like, a vegetable? And we're like, yeah, that's correct, that's correct. That was the best way to adjust this. So yeah, and then we end the night. So the two are having fun. Then we have May serving Hahari because May's dear older sister Mai went went to do something else. We might see this in the at one of the later ones, but regardless of how you view it, I'll address this when we get to it because these ended up on beforehand. I'll kind of make you question how the placements of some of these things, of some of these story of these chap panels or pages, whatever you call it. But anyways, my serving Kakai, but my being my is very clumsy. So throughout the whole time serving her, she just kind of falls down and just spills and covers Haha with every type of liquids, and she even goes down the list of like tea, bucket of water, and I think there's something else like. Yeah, she just spilled a lot of the stuff all over the time. So she's kind of very despondent, being like, I'm the disgrace. Oh my god, at this point, you could probably arrest me or execute me for being such a horrible maid. But Tahai just comforts Ma, being like, don't worry. Your May has a lot of good quality points, but you have a lot of good quality points. You're trying your hardest. I should at this point know that you're gonna be extremely clumsy with this work. So clearly, it's not your fault or anything. It's just I just have no objection to this stuff, which does comfort Maya a bit. But then we also reveal her guy's ulterior motive being, cute girl, falling in love is so cute. I want to see Kurumi like this as well, and my daughter as well. So, yeah, her guy being herself. Anyways, then we have Meru and USA pages where we have Rento's family going on a hiking trip, but unfortunately there was a landslide or something which caused Usa and Meru to get separated. I think it's supposed to be like they got caught in the avalanche, but they wouldn't have. So I'm going to have to assume it's like one of those things where they saw the avalanche coming and they just kind of ran down, so they were able to avoid most of it. But anyways, Renta just tells them to wait. He'll find the fastest path to them as they just wait. Usa hugs Meru because Usa is feeling very alone and is kind of probably starting to die. So she just holds onto Meru being desolation, death by desolation. As Meru then comforts or calms Usa down by telling her a story about 100 rats or 100 mice is probably more likely, but I don't think Usa cares about what large group there is as long as there's a large group. So that comforts Usa enough for Rentaro to use his chat powers to dig through a mountain with a shovel out of nowhere. I'm assuming that he keeps equipment like that in Hahai and Hakai's breasts. I mean, those are giant, and we know Hahai leaves stacks of cash in her breast, so shovel isn't that crazy to think as well. Either that or May's just able to get stuff very quickly. Either one works, honestly. So yeah, then Rentaro and the girl Meru and Usa go back to the rest of the group as Usa thanks Meru for comforting her with a fairy tale as Meru tells her no, I should thank you for listening to my fairy tales because without listeners it's kind of pointless to have fairy tale listening to mixed fairy tales. So they're very happy and they go for a hug and yeah. Anyways, after that we get Chio and Era walking home, which I think you can guess where this is kind of going as they're going. I'm assuming Era probably volunteered to watch over Chio because it was middle of the night by looks of things as home or something, or maybe they're just hanging out together, but regardless, they're walking home as then Uncle Hiro shows up and be like, oh, I'm so happy to run into you, Chio. As then Era immediately confused as she gets scared that, wait a minute, this guy is after Chio? He's probably some kind of creepy pervert. I need to kick him out. As she kicks Uncle Hiro away because creeps can be kicked, which basically damages his internal organs and sends him away as Chio tells him, wait, Era, this is just my dad, it's fine, he's not a creep, you don't need to beat the shit out of him and call the police. Not yet, at least. As Era gets in bed, like, oh shit, I had one of my friends' father, how could I have done this? As Uncle Kid doesn't know, it's fine, it's fine. I'm happy you are so loyal to Chio that you protected her, even though it was just me being happy that I saw her outside of the house. As then Chio starts scolding her father that he shouldn't be jumping in and, at people randomly. Since, this is also kind of a... I do have to actually kind of wonder what would happen with all the other girlfriends. I mean, I imagine that Kai would just call for May for help. If Uncle Kyo jumped, if he screamed, Kai would probably just punch Uncle Kyo into next week. Shizuko would probably just assume pretend to be that stance, honestly. Nano would just go for the eyes. Christy would just throw some random drug. I don't know. As I could see this kind of becoming its own chapter, but whatever. When all the girlfriends meet Uncle Hero, I can always see it. Meeting Uncle Hero chapter and we just have all the girlfriends beat the shit out of him, or beat them in some other way. Yeah. Anyways, then we get to the two chapters I was referring, well, the two stories I was referring to previously, where them questioning on where exactly do these 100 girlfriend chapters take place. This is where there's like multiple things happening at once. As we have Nano in Shizuko's room, as Shizuko asks Nano to read the book that she wrote for Meryl. Now the thing is, this chapter has happened. It has happened with Shizuko writing Meryl some time ago. I mean, this is I think like the I think that chapter was like the second chapter. Was it the second chapter after? I think it was the chapter. It was either the chapter between Meryl's the second chapter after Meryl's introduction to this family, or it was the one immediately after their whole vacation on the Holy Land. So I think it was all of those. It was between that chapter. I know it was between that arc, but I think it was like before that. So it's been a while since we had this being undressed. So I feel like, and I kind of question if Showa Shizuku would take so long to show her. So this makes me think this must have been like one of those things that happened earlier in the timeline. It's just it's now being shown to us. It's kind of like if in a Volume X show we had Shizuku giving this to Nano. It wouldn't really make sense without much context. So I could totally see this being the case here with to, Nano. It'll probably take me too long. Like extra pages are usually just a single page, not even a full page, just a little picture of the characters' interaction. So Nakamura probably decided it would be best to just have this be a daily life thing. So I could totally. So that's probably why we only have it now. But I think this probably happened a lot before, earlier in the timeline. So we can at least assume this one is happening a bit. And that's kind of thing. All of these daily life chapters, to me at least, feel like they could be taking place anytime, especially more limited they are with girlfriends. I believe on a comment section I posted that this could have happened when Era and Mai were having their date chapter, because we don't see either Nano or Shizuku, so it's not impossible that Shizuku just invited Nano to her place after school, and then she gave her the book that she wrote. So yeah, but anyways, to the actual chapter, to actual story, we have Shizuku saying, "Oh, you because how fast you read Nano, you're probably gonna read this in a flash." But then Nano's like, "This is the book that Shizuku wrote, and she asked me to read it. This is." Basically Hortax, and then she's brought to tears immediately, which Shizuku is shocked by, but it's not only is able to read it, it's just it's the longest time that she required to read this book. But yeah, anyways, it's a very short and sweet chapter between Shizuku and Nano. But yeah, anyways, then we get to the second chapter, which kind of confirms to me that some of these events are probably happening at the same time or at some other chapters, as we have Sue walking to school as May shows up, and Sue tells her to post a random number. And then we see a duration of the day that Sue constantly, May was always around her and always getting a number to make. Like she was on the rooftop, and she was told to do like a 7 or something. She was in the middle of the classroom, and she was told to do a 5. And then we have Sue and Rin, I guess, finishing at the toilet or something, as or at least Sue is talking about how the toilet has like a 0 and a 1. As May shows up and is like being her loyal dog self, he's like, "Sue, what numbers do you want me to make?" As her tail is wiggling in the air. So he's like, "A 1." Because Sue said two numbers, so May wasn't certain which number she should make. As then her high sort of says, "Oh, my apologies on May's behalf, Sue. You see, you can't say you've been giving her orders for numbers she should make, so now May is just following you around to do whatever order you gave her." And so he's like, "Oh no, it's fine. I like the numbers that May makes, so it's all good on all sides." And now is the question: is this the other work that May was ordered to do? Oh, it was referring to that Mai and Hahai story like was May just following through around doing numbers? It's unclear, but it could be the case. But yeah, so again, it's like another piece of evidence in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, then we get to the second and last story where we have Mimi dreaming of Mei's beautiful face, and now she's a bit conflicted because like she hasn't seen that beautiful face since chapter 55, which my god, that's been a while, a long ass time to think about. Like we're almost like what uh three three times well, not three times, like we're almost like how long would it be? Like we're almost like four times high or three times more than since that occurred. But whatever. It was a long ass time, and Mimi now wants to see that face again, and she's looking at Mei like, oh, I want to see that beautiful face, but if I look at, but if I saw it, you just poof away and then it'll disappear. And she has like this very kind of longing, lustful look. No, not lustful, like this very, please let us go out together kind of face. But then she immediately is like, wait, Mary, if I look at her too long, she's got that spear, and she looks away. As Mimi's kind of confused on why she's why Mimi is kind of confused on why Mimi's looking at her. It's like, as then uh, Mimi's like, I shouldn't look at her too much, but I really want to, but I can't, which causes Meme to have like fantasy at night without her and Mimi doing it. So the theory that all the girlfriends after they got live together are just gonna end up doing it amongst themselves are getting closer and closer and closer to coming true. Especially considering what happens in the next chapter with Meme, Tama, and Kurumi. Oh my god, the number of children being born is gonna be crazy. They're single-handedly going to populate. They're single-handedly going to overpopulate the planet. Like the island store is gonna be just Rentaro's family when you really break it down. But yeah, anyways, and then we get to the final story of the day where we have Kusuri and Iko ending up in the same scenario that Usa and Meru were earlier in the chapter, with them being in a landslide, but not being stuck on waiting for Rentaro to show up. But unfortunately, unlike those two who were, normal girls, these two are, a bit more thick in the head. So Iko just is like, we cannot just wait here without even trying to get up. We'll climb. If there's a way to climb, we are going to climb. So Iko starts climbing, which inspires Kusuri to start climbing as well. No, Kishika. Kishika's, my apologies, I kind of confused Kusuri with Kishika a bit, but regardless, Kishika starts gets inspired by Iko, so she starts climbing with Iko, and they are able to reach the top. Before Enta is able to dig the hole for them through the mountain, because Enta is that kind of chat, which just leads them to wonder where it is. But I'm assuming they just heard that whole opening. They're like, wait, you dig the whole hole through the mountain? But yeah, anyways, all's good that it ends good. So yeah, anyways, after Peakness, we then have Four Nights of the Apocalypse, chapter 16. Not 16, is went through into chapter 166. 66. Titled Tension in the Air. Not the worst a pretty damn accurate chapter, all things considered, honestly. So yeah, anyways, we start this chapter off with Gareth being pissed off at Percival for destroying her, for interrupting her dinner, or destroying her dinner. And she's like, oh, great job, you just ruined my dinner. And what I'm not going to do? How are you gonna pay me back for it? As Percival just goes Looney Tunes on us with his chibi form, being able to eat the whole spaghetti or whatever Gareth was having. And I was like, oh, sorry about that. You see, I'm so excited I didn't even see you there. Oh, wait a minute, you're the guy who defeated Adlan, the one who attacked me during the Battle Royale portion of the tournament. With Gareth saying I'm pretty sure who's Adlan, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time that we met one another. So yeah, that is a very interesting statement for Gareth to give so quickly. Now, unfortunately, there's no real full indication of Gareth what this could be, but I'm kind of going to assume that it might be a split personality because the way Gareth acts in this chapter is kind of counter to how he was in the previous chapter, where he was kind of like very kind of taking a sadistic glee in it, like, ha, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Thing with the whole when he was stabbing Atla and all that. So I'm kind of generally more playful nature in that chapter. While in this chapter, he's kind of more like down. Well, she's kind of more down to earth, more like, yeah, well, this life sucks. Oh, your journey is such a great and fun one. Nom nom nom. But anyways, Percival just looks at him a bit confused, like, that's odd. You would think you at least remember the guy you stroke and revived someone. But whatever, Percival was just kind of like playing along with it, being like, alright, it's probably just, I mean, I don't know him, maybe he just didn't focus that much outside of combat. I mean, it does happen sometimes. But anyways, Percival just introduced himself. I'm Percival, by the way, and goes like, Gareth. As then we have Gareth and Percival going to eat something else on dinner. Kind of looks like I want to say he has Porsche or something, because I really doubt that he's eating super now. But anyways, Gareth and Percival talking, and Percival I guess revealed the whole plan, or the whole thing going on with his group trying to achieve Trishan and get some, and also getting her memories back and all that. Like he just told her everything, which I'm kind of really Percival. This is just some random chick you follow. Actually, you probably wouldn't even know if it's a chick or not. But whatever, and you already are telling her everything. So yeah, anyways, Gareth is kind of like, wow, you broke into Enfan, huh? Of all places, into Enfine, the place that I've been born in, and a place I can't escape at all. How great of you! So yeah, Gareth was apparently born in Enfine, which again kind of makes me wonder what exactly is Gareth, because okay, it feels odd that the way the Camelot would be set up would be by having people who are born in Enfine, which is, to be fair, possible. I'm not surprised that is something that happens, but it's kind of weird that this is a established Spain, the fact that people can apparently be born in Amphi, they'll still be stuck in Amphi the same way how people who are non-believers are. Maybe it's like, but maybe the idea is that people who are stuck in Amphi, who are born in it, are kind of have like stronger wishes or something. You know, kind of like if Percival was stuck in Amphi with Varghese, he would have a stronger wish to go outside, and that would kind of fuel the Camelot more. But even more interesting because Gareth looks to be about 16, 18 years old. Like he looks the same age as the rest of the cast, but there's also kind of a question of when exactly that this Anfine would be, because if I remember correctly, about 16, 18 years ago, about as old as characters were born, Arthur was creating this new version of Camelot. Yet, but yet, from the way characters talk about it, makes it sound like Arthur was, maybe not slowly, but was definitely took some time before Arthur became the way he is right now. Like, the first year of what you would assume is Gareth's birth would would him still be, not, Empire would still not be created yet, or it is unlikely. Unless we assume unless we assume Empire was always meant to be a more prison, but it was maybe someone told him, Arthur, Your Majesty, we probably should still have a prison, regardless of how you feel about it. Prisons are just necessary, just for in case some bandits or something tries to happen. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it was like a different, but after offers change, it became a prison for everyone who's a non-believer. But I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. Although to me, I think this is more another suggestion that Gareth might just be a more of a chaos type of creature, because okay, because if let's say we assume Gareth is some kind of is let's say just some kind of spawn that was created from Melagalon's corpse, that would only be 2 years. Meaning you could probably give him advanced talent, intellect to be able to function like he's a 16, 18-year-old, but in reality he's only been alive for 2 years. I mean, it's not like being a newborn really changes your intellect if you're not of you different members of species. I mean, just look at Melagalon. Melagalon is in canon supposed to be a different, or at least being considered a different creature that was born, yet it, uh, it still had the same intellect of Galant and Lascula. So it's very clear that the chaos creatures or beings like that could be a lot smarter than they really should be by their age standard. So Gav could very likely just be 2 years old or something, or I mean, or maybe a little older. Depends on how long you want to say from Melagalon's death to now. It was, but whatever. Gareth, anyways, is kind of being very pissed off at Percival and kind of is like, wow, you are really dense, aren't you? You must be the densest person in the world, because Gareth tells him how he's stuck here, yeah, this guy got in and fine, specifically to save some people, and just travels back and forth because it doesn't really care to matter to him. So, yeah. But anyways, Percival then uh, wants also expresses the desire for his tournament and all that, which again pisses Gareth off. And then Percival wants to pull a his good old fashioned wrist as he asks Gareth to come along. I mean, we're planning on getting away as soon as we get Trish, and we can always take you with us if you want. I mean, we're kind of kindred spirits in the sense that we both spend a lot of our lives in one place and want to leave. So if you want to leave, we can just take you there. So he's clearly trying to get another one to his harem, but Gareth wants to act like a tsundere, uh, so Percival wants to add a tsundere to his harem, basically. So he refuses by just throwing the whatever he was eating into Percival's face, with Percival just being able to eat everything quickly with his tongue, as Gareth is like, "Oh, aren't you such a great hero? But I can tell that I shouldn't be associating with myself with you, because you smell nothing but of death and misfortune. So I wish you a good night. But if we end up fighting each other in that tournament, be prepared that I will take you down a bit, Peg. Well, I will wipe your ass." As Gareth leaves, we'll see how. This is ironic on two fronts, but we'll see on which one will happen first. But yeah, anyways, after that, Percival kind of gets dejected, be like, I mean, it's not like I want people to die or want to bring them misfortune. Because remember, that's like the reason why Percival left his body pre-time skip, because he was like, he thought if he stayed, he would just bring misfortune. So he was kind of against that, but now he's kind of being reminded of that. And then as he's kind of looking dejected, we have Anne showing up and being like, "Hey, Percival, where were you? We were all looking for you because we think that we basically all sleep together and all that type of stuff." I'm assuming it means they all sleep in the same general rooms kind of thing. But anyways, Anne and Percival then go away to outside or to look at the sky, as they point out there are 3 moons or 2 moons or how many moons Enfine has. Which and makes a comment about, oh my god, if we stay here too long, we might actually start losing our hats. And this probably meant more as like a way to ease Percival into it, because she could tell in Percival's eyes that there was something that was bothering him. As Percival just straight up reveals to her, he's here, and Deodra, I mean. As Anne's like, Deodra. Wait, you mean Ironside's son? As Percival's like, yeah, I met him during the competition. The guy who called himself, the guy in the suit of armor that called himself Deodra, that is my brother. I mean, he doesn't say that that is the same Deodra, but I think Anne can put it together. Percival mentions Deodre's here, his brother, and there's a fully armored up character called Deodre. I think she can put two pieces together. As Percival's like, what will I do? And originally I was meant to be his body, but and vessel so he could live, and he's been poisoned from birth. What could I possibly do about him? As the ants then like it screams at him, tells him, it doesn't matter, Percival. You didn't do anything wrong to him. I imagine also Ryan is kind of feeling the effects because that's kind of that story about the Deodre was kind of what sent sent Percival's spirit Percival away. So this time she kind of used a similar thing here with him being like no to probably make sure that he doesn't go away again. So she tells him it doesn't matter. You didn't affect him. If it's anyone's fault, it's Ironside's fault. You are innocent in all this. So she's trying to console him as she's like, yeah, but why is he here? Is there a particular reason? I have a feeling that has something to do with me, which is kind of true, but it's also not true. I mean, it really depends on how you view things and how you want to how you want to connect things around. But I get why the person would be concerned about that. But then also, yeah, it's just Ironside's fault. You are fine. Besides, he's under this divine protection from Camelot, so he's definitely fine. So everything's good. Which I do have to question why. I mean, you'd kind of think Ironside, if they'll just say you, okay, captains do not know that Ironside lost his memory, that his chaos contract took away his memory, but you'd kind of think that they would be like, at least starting to be like, wait a minute, if the OJ say, does this mean Ironside's also here? Are we actually facing two of the four evils? That's something that I feel like could be considered, but it might be considered in the next chapter. I mean, it's not really clear if we're gonna immediately start with fights in the next chapter, if we're still going to have like a bit of a, or get everything under wraps, because I feel like the information that the OJ, one of the four evil son, is present is kind of a big information. Like, even if they don't care about him, I do imagine that like a hostage situation would be useful. Like, okay, after we beat the OJ, we sneak into the recovery room and grab him while he sleeps and take him. He's according to our sources, he should be sickly, so he should be weak. We just have two of his bodyguards present, which those two are issues, but the rest we should be able to handle. Prepare knockout poisons, nauseants. We will probably need those. So we'll see how that whole thing unfolds. But then Anne just wants to cheer. But anyways, first of all, she is kind of comforted by Anne's thoughts. But then she also is like, first of all, we are alone now, so you can't touch me. As Percival takes a couple of minutes to be like, wait a minute, touch what? And Anne gets kind of bad, and Percival's like, oh yeah, you promised me back in Lyones that I can touch you whenever I want. Okay, I'll take it. And then Anne's like, just turns around and is like, no, you run out of time. You have lost your chances. Percival's like, oh, come on, Anne. As then we end the sequence like a little comedy mode, a little shipping moment between Anne and Percival, because it's been a while since we had these two kind of have like this shipping moment. Like we had Nonsense and Percival in the previous arc, but now we sort of didn't have anything. So yeah. Anyways, then after this little sequence, we didn't have that bodyguard or whatever you want to call him, Goblin Lock or whatever, announcing that it's a second day, and this is how the competition was picked, as we then get like a two bracket system, like we have bracket A and bracket B, as we start the fights with bracket A, where we have Percival versus Gareth. So we have this fight happening very quickly. Like, I kind of assume these two are gonna fight with the way everything was built up and set up, but it's kind of interesting that we get it so quickly. Then we have a surprising fight with Donnie versus Mystery Package, the character who's very much being predicted to be Gopher. So I mean, it's Gopher, Donnie's getting his ass beaten, and even if it's not Gopher, Donnie's getting his ass beaten, unfortunately. Then we have Anne versus Deodre, interesting enough, because if you remember when Anne was first introduced, she Ironside said, "Oh, I would like you if you meet my son," and now she's gonna be fighting Ironside's son. So yeah, I'm going to see how this fight's gonna unfold. And Okay, so one thing I should always say before we get through all the fights match up and who's gonna win are very predictable. Like it's one of those you can very easily guess who's gonna win which bracket, with maybe a few exceptions, but we'll get into this when we get through all of them. But anyways, it's Yoja versus Anne for the third. Then we have Nazians versus Rufus, which is one of the bodyguards that Deodre has. Then we have Gawain versus Turret, another bodyguard of Deodre's, and this one's definitely going to end with Gawain winning. You could probably debate that maybe Rufus can defeat Nazians, but I think it's more fair to assume that Nazians will beat Rufus. Then we have Gawain. Then we have Hauser versus Balin. So yeah, Hauser's gonna get us beat into next week. Then we have Tristan or Tantris versus Gion. So I guess we'll be going. We're going through a sort of. We're going to have 2 rounds of Tristan platoons in a conflict. As then we just have Pelio versus Soul, who I think is a very obvious one. So yeah, as you might have noticed, these fights are kind of very easy and very kind of predictable in terms of who's gonna fight. You're gonna have in bracket A, you're gonna have Percival fighting Gareth, Percival's gonna win. You're going to have Mystery Package very likely defeating Donnie, and then you have Percival beating Mystery Package, assuming it's Gopher, unless if Gopher does a whole Master Splinter 2003 thing where it's your generation still or something. Although that could also work for Percival. It doesn't really matter. As then we have the other 4 being Anne versus Deodre, where Deodre defeats Anne, while Deodre then fights Nazians and defeats Nazians. And then we have a semi-finals where we have Deodre versus Percival, where Percival defeats Deodre. The only issue is that Deodre is, it's stated that Deodre is health-wise very weak. And while I do feel like some people might be exaggerating how weak Deodre is, I mean, it's kind of like another Dobby situation where people really like to overblow the weakness. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Deodre. Deodre is not weak, it's just that he cannot handle much. It's like one of those, like, if he wants to beat someone, he needs to do it quick and needs to do, like, definitive strikes. It's like one of those, like, I cannot rely on stamina. It's like the fight starts and he needs to immediately push forward. Like all of his physical strength, all of the magic tools or whatever he has, he needs to use that as soon as possible to knock Anne out quickly. It's like one slice and she's out there. Like, almost like as soon as it starts, it has to be over kind of thing. So I think Deodre will have to use that kind of strategy, but who knows? Maybe he has some other magic that he hasn't used that we don't know if that could be useful. I mean, he might have magic, we don't really know, but regardless, we have Anne versus DOJ, and then we have Nazians versus DOJ. And again, I imagine there's probably going to be some discussion on how to handle him because one of the 4 evil sons is present. Like, if that's not an opportunity to capture him as a hostage, then I don't know what this is going to happen. So yeah, and then of course, so defeats Georgia, and then we have the finals where we then have bracket B with Gawain versus Turret, an easy win for Gawain. Hauser versus Balan, a very obvious win for Balan. We have Tristan versus Gion, obviously Tristan. Palio versus Isol. Palio wins in some way. Maybe he's gonna say that she has a better chance of getting Tristan back to his senses. Then we have Gawain and Balan, which is probably like the most it could go either way thing because you could see Gawain beating Balin, and then going to semifinals, but you could also see Balin beating Gawain, and him and Trisha just having a full balls out fight, which kind of makes sense since Shion's current opponents are kind of more like mental things. So yeah, Trisha being Shion and fighting Isolde and getting over the mental hurdle of maybe it will awaken some memories or something from him, but regardless. He's either then gonna fight Gawain, who's fine enough, probably like the least attached to Trishan of all the characters. And then we have, or he just fights Bella, who is just a balls out fight. But whatever. And then we have like finals, which is Trishan versus Percival. But considering tournaments in Fortnite usually get interrupted, in some sense, I could question how far this is gonna go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the actual fight between Percival and Trishan happens sooner, no, and then it kind of whole tournament's kind of destroyed or something. I don't really know. Oh, the one, or maybe the someone finds out about everyone present. Yes, the main group as well as Trish and Trish and Gawain have like those rings, but the rest could be leaked. Just say. I won't be surprised if Bill Tripper is like, that Tempest magic user is pretty powerful for someone who's supposed to just be a random member of in prison of Cauldron, huh? And what was his name again? Hauser? Yes, sir. Who is the current captain of the Leones? That would be Tempest magic user named Hauser. Call Arthur. Tell him that we have Leones knights here. You sent all them so we can start to them or something. I could totally see something that happening, but we have to wait and see. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the chapter. As then we go into the other fantasy series with Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, chapter 178, titled Your Name Shows Who You Are. Yeah, this chapter is gonna be a very controversial chapter in my opinion, but whatever. Anyways, we start this chapter off with Brian being finally defeated by Natsu and telling him again he doesn't know where Ignia went, he just went after Ferris, so Ignia's following his nose basically. As then we have Misfortune versus Happy, as they're kind of like, as Happy's like, wait, Misfortune, we don't have to fight. As Misfortune's like, yes, no, we have to fight. We are enemies. We are opposing guilds. As she sets fire at him. As he's like, and besides, this is always how things end up because I bring Misfortune everywhere I go. I'm a fire cat for crying out loud. As Happy's like, what's wrong with being a fire cat? I'm with nuts all the time, so it doesn't really matter. And Misfortune's like, because I always bring pain to people. There's this old kind old man who wanted to hold me and hug me, but I burned his hands off. So it always happens, and I'll burn and harm you regardless. As then Happy kind of gets his own moment. I guess Mashima decided to give him like a moment because I think in the original series there are times where Happy has like more of a captain just quoting one-liners or something, but regardless, Happy has like his moment where he comforts Misfortune, like he holds her and tells her, "Don't worry, your fire doesn't burn me at all. I'm used to it and all that." As he's like, besides, your name isn't Misfortune, it's Misfortune because that could kind of be split into two, which does make Fortune happy and causes her to tell, "All right, I'll tell you everything I know and help you get them." He convinces her that destroying humanity that would be the real misfortune. But anyways, as they say that, Natsu shows up and sees Happy hurt, so he's like, "Oh, how dare you hurt Happy?" As he kicks her into next week or 2 weeks from now, actually. But whatever. So yeah, it's little thing. It's kind of supposed to give Happy a bit of a moment, but it's just gonna there. I don't really give a shit about these mascots. Like, just kind of fuck off on my YouTube if you would be so very kind. Like, we want some actual thing happening. But anyways, then we cut back to Lucy's water kingdom thing, as we have Aquarius being, all right, you two clearly can't get along, so here's what we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna be sharing our key. Okay, Lucy, you give me on Tuesdays and Fridays, while Blanche gets me on Thursdays. Are we all good? Good. If you call me when I'm the out of the days, I am gonna be pissed off at you, and you two are gonna suffer because you know I'm going to have dates, and if you two interrupt, you two girls are in trouble. But yeah, as then you kind of could have. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't just decide to take a more dominant role, but whatever. I guess Aquarius is just gonna go with the alright sharing option. But then Brandish just informs Aquarius, actually, I don't want the key. I'm not a celestial spirit. A celestial spirit user, so it would kind of be useless to me, which pisses Aquarius off. Be like, oh, you don't want my golden key? As then Brandish tells, as in Lucy's like, wait, but you were looking for this key for so long. We literally started the story off with you telling us that you were looking for this key. It's literally volume 2, woman. As Brandish says, yes, and I found the key, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, so anyways, bye. As Aquarius like puts pieces together a bit, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You were not looking for the key so you could have it. You were looking for the key so you gave me to Lucy as sort of a sign of friendship. I see what's going on. As Lou's like, oh, is that true, Vanish? As Vanish is like, that'll be a hassle. In fact, this whole thing seems like a big hassle, so I'll just leave now. As Vanish leaves and Lucy thanks her for, doing this because, like, while they were kind of together and, Vanish will, Lucy helping getting the key, it's kind of like it was always meant to be Lucy's, which I'm not really that surprised. Alright, I thought there was gonna be like a moment where Lucy gives the key to Brandes, like she gets the key first, but she'll give it to Brandes because Lucy doesn't really need Aquarius, and you kind of say that she moved on from Aquarius, but I mean, I guess Brandish wanting to give the key to Lucy is also kind of like something. It just kind of feels like, kind of a big waste when you think about the whole reveal. It's just Brandish is a tsundere. That's it. Like the whole time was just her, she's just being too much of a tsundere to tell them everything. So yeah, I mean, it does make Brandish a bad character, the fact that she's a tsundere, but still kind of a weird little thing. But anyways, I mean, honestly, this does actually make me kind of wonder if this is gonna lead to like the final chapters of 100 Years Quest, with it revealed that Brenda, Joel, and maybe Meriday are all going to join Fairy Tail, like some kind of like a full circle thing with how we started. Well, not start the story, but like how the first volume of 100 Years Quest started with Mary Jane bringing introducing three new members of the to Fairy Tail, but all three of them were, well, two of them were failures, and the other one was had her own evil scheme. So we'll end 100 Years Quest with three new members of Fairy Tail being Brandish, Joel, and Merde. I don't think so because like it's kind of been thrown, because like those three kind of feel like they're being thrown out with Brandish not really having anything going on, and her and Lucy got getting closer. Joel was already said that he wants to join. Azra pointed out that Maraday could also come along, implying those two at least are more connected. So you could totally see it. Like I can see Azra and Joel coming together as a couple. I could see Lucy be very happy that they'll be together. That Vanish and they could be together, be friends like their mothers were. And Juvia and Maraday will just be together because they're friends. So yeah, I could totally see this happening. But anyways, then we have Aquarius and Lucy kind of be having a reunion hug as they are very happy with each other. As Mercophobia is like, yeah, this is the type of stuff that I like humanity for. As Camila just looks at him like, seriously? You don't have to be expose your love of female friendships that much. So yeah, I'm guessing the connection between Mercophobia and Aquarius is going to be addressed. It's just this. We just kind of wanted to end the whole Brandish Lucy subplot right now, but whatever. We'll see on that side. But yeah, anyways, then we have like an inner monologue that's kind of a dark omen, really, with Lucy kind of saying, looking at now, it feels like I should have probably cried. I would find I would have cried more, like and knowing what I know now, I probably would have cried more than I have beforehand. So perhaps, yeah, it's basically supposed to be like a dark omen. Like, what is she talking about? Is something going to happen? Is some darkness going? Is Aquarius going to die? Is something horrific going to take place? We don't know. All we know is that we cut away from this as we focus on Azra, and we get confirmed that Azra was going against Alderaan, which I think it's pretty safe to assume that Gray went again after VNS and Wendy went after Celine. So yeah, yeah, Azra is where Alderaan is supposed to be, but she's like, Alderaan is nowhere to be found. You think such a massive dragon would be here, but who knows? Maybe he's just underground. I mean, she sees the Lacrima, but she doesn't see Alderaan, which you'd think the two are so big that it would not matter. You would see both of them. But quite frankly, maybe you should just look on the ground, on the floor, as you might be stepping on him. I mean, the guy was so big that people didn't even realize, except for the Diabolus members, that Alderaan was the body, the plane they were walking on. So who knows? Maybe he just burrowed himself on the ground to make himself even bigger or something. I don't really know, but I could totally see that being the case. But regardless, Alderaan is currently somewhere else, and because how big the guy is, that's really concerning. But whatever. But anyways, as Azra is looking around, she senses some very dark powers. As she looks at where that dark power comes from, as she sees that Orakia 6 from Spares have appeared, and all of them are there, and they are ready to fight Azra. Zero's like, oh, fairy tale wizard bitch, I am taking you down. So yeah, we are going to have Azra versus Orakian 6, and as you can imagine, people are really concerned how this is gonna be interpreted, shown, and used. Is this gonna be like another the Loxus versus Raventail guild scenario where it's gonna be the entire guild, but Loxus is going to demolish all six of them, no issues, kind of thing, which I don't want to be a hater, but that is a very good possibility. I mean, for crying out, then I mean, let's actually look at this. Rocket is the process of an already existing villain, being Zero, and five guys whose names are so generic that they are literally just abilities like Blade, Gate, Melty, Gaia, and what was another one's name? Bert. Like, these are very generic names. I will not be surprised if it's revealed these guys are just a fodder for Ezra to defeat. However, I would like to point out that Ezra does usually get overwhelmed at the beginning by new antagonists in some form of way, unless if you put the whole Fire and Flames guild thing that was happening a couple of chapters back as it's connected to this portion because I kind of feel like I'm sort of like a Zoe type of scenario with that. Like Fire Flame is more like a Zoe arc, with this being like the main kind of one arc kind of thing. But whatever, we can debate on if you want to put those two as their separate arcs or not. But whatever, I could see, but I kind of view this as being like one of that like before the real fighting happens, fight between Azra where Azra gets overwhelmed. Which remember she does usually get overwhelmed, but it's usually in very unfair scenarios. It's like in the VNS arc. She first got transformed stuck into a photograph where she wasn't able to do anything, and then was transformed to animal where she was unable to do anything against the Signal sisters, even though she then beats both Signal sisters, despite there being no reason why she wouldn't just be turned into an animal again and being defeated. Then have the whole Tartarus arc where she got poisoned to fall conscience and then got captured. So and so on, so on. So Ezra being overwhelmed and captured by Onkion 6, I think is the best thing they could do. Maybe she'll defeat Blade or someone, but I feel like it would make the most amount of sense to have her fight. Probably do like a very impressive fight, but then have her just be by sheer numbers being overwhelmed by them. Or like reveal that one of them has like some kind of super overpowered ability that makes her incapable of fighting back or something. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on how exactly this is gonna unfold. But I'm kind of hoping it's like one of those things where it's just like early arc, Azra getting overwhelmed by a new antagonist or something to build up hype. But I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on that. As then we end with Theater, as then we go into One Piece chapter 1129 titled Life Dolls. I'm guessing it was supposed to be like living dolls type of scenario, but whatever. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with the Sharks running away from the Sun God. So, they got pretending to be a Sun God as he's chasing after them with a bunch of random stuff. As Luffy's like, "Oh my God, this Sun God spent so much time building all this place and everything like this. We better be careful so we don't destroy too much of it. It's very well built. Like, I don't know, we already did some destruction, but I don't think we should destroy everything." So Luffy is being considered a Lego playroom. Good for you. I'm so proud of you, Luffy. You're moving up. You're growing up. But anyways, then we have Nami like throwing the map that she got in the last chapter away, saying that she already memorized the whole thing. As Usopp is panicking, like, why did she throw away? But it's essentially unnecessary. No, they can all fully. She fully understands how the layout and everything works, and she expects that if they continue going this direction, they'll be able to just get to the other side where they'll be able to break and escape and jump out. So yeah. Anyways, then the Sun God pulls out like a little net to catch them like you be trying to catch flies or something, or butterflies. I think people use nets to capture butterflies mostly. Capture them, but they're able to escape out of it using, Diablo Jombe and whatever technique Zoro has. So they're able to escape. As then we didn't have some got kind of going the whole meta storytelling kind of way of talking. When characters bring out concepts and stuff that would only really apply in like a you're analyzing a story type of sense, where I'm be like, oh, every story needs good guys and bad guys, and you guys are now, and you stride parts are gonna be now the villains of my story, and as I take you guys down and all that type of stuff. As this confirms that one thing, he knows who the Striad Pirates are, and we actually do find out that this person, this Sun God, is Road, one of the new giant warrior pirates under Hyruden. And based on the next chapter, he actually is still working under Hyruden, but we find out in this chapter that he's actually kind of opposed to being with it, to be an underling of Straw Hats, because he kind of looks done. I'm like, he's like, oh my god, what? We are gonna have to be sending this little guy now? We left Buggy for this this random pirate. Come on, we are better. We are stronger than them. We don't need to do with them. As then this guy also gets to wonder. Rhodes is that navigator, the guy who was on the cover page in one chapter. I think it was doing the Whole Cake Island, where we see all the members of the new giant warrior pirates, and he's the guy and he kind of looks like an emo guy, honestly, with the whole one eye and black kind of outfit he has. But he questions why we have to follow them. But then we see that we actually get an explanation on on the whole events, or at least how Strides ended up coming there, as we see that like one of Rhodes' pads, I think the raven that was cut down in the last chapter caught the Sunny as it was flying to Road. As Road was like, oh, why did you bring this time? And he sees that it's Luffy and the Straw Pirates are like, oh wait, these are the Straw Pirates, these guys that were rude and wants to disrespect us by serving under them. Actually, I have a brilliant idea. I'll have you guys be part of my world. And then the rest of the world will not know what happened to you. You'll disappear. We'll be able to get back to our honor and all that type of stuff. And no, you're sure a beautiful lady. Ha ha ha. Alright, oh wait, oh my god, you guys are waking up. Oh, no, back to sleep, back to sleep, back to sleep. Okay, as he has like a wee little sleeping ass bump on him. But anyways, he puts them all to sleep, as then he puts them back into, and he, dresses them up in Albaf attire, as he puts them back, well, he puts them into his little world. So, yeah. This is the guy who is Road is Road. Awesome, it's kind of interesting that the way that Oda decided to introduce like one of one we've seen, Road is technically supposed to be an ally of Stride, even if he's kind of a begrudging ally or underling of Stride pirates. But regardless, even though he's being a douche about it, he is being introduced in a way where he's actively it's not just being having a big mouth or something. Like he's actively being antagonistic in this sense, but whatever. I mean, it's to spice things up. I mean, the new giant warrior pirates are a group of five, so I think you can probably explain and flesh them out and give them a bit more character, even if it's something shit like the way he is right now. But regardless, after he's kind of having his he goes through his memories, he's now starting to do like a big speech as oh, I'm gonna take you down, you guys cannot escape, and doing big talk, which then pisses Nami off a bit how he talks so much. So she just uses his climate attack to attack Ro by the beginning. He's like, wait a minute, I didn't place the thundercloud, so why are thunderclouds here? I don't remember doing that. As he gets struck by a lightning pole, and I'm not sure if he gets knocked out or if he's just like, I mean, I could imagine he'd be knocked out. I mean, it's a climate attack by Nami me. So at this point, he should probably be knocked out by that. I'm not sure if Zeus was using this or not, but he should definitely be knocked out. At least he's not able to follow after them as Straw Hats. They come to where they are planning to jump out of as the Usopp sends out his attacks, but it doesn't work. So Luffy just uses his Gear 3 slash arm of Gear 4 to slam the wall and the mirror to escape. And the other giants now that has some guys kind of distracted and kind of buzzing, they're kind of trying to escape, but we'll see on how this escape and all that kind of goes later, because I think in the next chapter we only focus on the Shards escape, but not like civilians, or even the reaction the rest of the New World spots to this to Rhodes' idiocy. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. It's a simple, brief chapter, nothing special, nothing interesting. Anyways, after One Piece, we then have Chainsaw Man chapter 180 titled Aging's World. So yeah, I think we pretty much can expect the aging level to do something amazing in this chapter. As we actually do have a Mia start right off with the aging devil, just doing like the same thing that the War Devil did with the whole bang thing, as the aging devil does like as well, bang, which then sends Euro Asa away up into like this kind of weird space of memories, as then Asa kind of remembers a part of a memory, which is kind of done in a very similar way as like Danji's whole locked memory or oppressed memory did scenario, but it's kind of like the opposite, where it's like a dark door, but this time it's where Asa's memory goes into like a bright light, but it doesn't really matter. It's a deeper lore character relations for later, because right now we are in this the Asa and Yoro find themselves into like this weird forest as they are looking around themselves, being like, "Wait, where are we?" We as then Yoro looks at where Danji is, as she looks down on the floor. She sees Danji's there as well, as he's kind of causes a bit of sleepers, and Yoro's like, "Bang, bang!" And then works. Then she does like a bunch of bangs to a point she actually gets crouches down next to him, and unfortunately she doesn't sit on his face. Unfortunately, but it's that just shoves her fingers into Denji's mouth and like bang bang. Why isn't this working? What's going on here? As then a mysterious man shows up in his underwear. It's like hello. As then you looks at me like, what the hell are you doing here? Who the hell are you? As then this man starts giving his backstory, as he says, oh, hello, you see, I've been in this world for a while now, and I've been living here. You see, I used to be a devil hunter with a very, very respectable. I had like a lot of good friends. I was very good in my devil hunting job. But then I one day look at the mirror and notice that the age lines are starting to show up. And when I saw that, I was like, I don't want to age. I want to go old. Then, and if there is an aging devil, which there probably has to be, because I imagine it's pretty common for people to be scared of age, uh, I would very much like to make a contract with him so I could, you know, you I would very much like to make a contract with the aging devil. And then that's how he ended up here. He made a contract, or the aging devil appeared, and then the contract kind of went along. So he showed up in this world now. So yeah, yeah. And then you ask, all right. So this is the aging devil's world. All right. So is there a way out? As this guy, also, how long were you in this world exactly? As this guy says, I've been in this world for about 82 years, and there apparently was one person escaped, but no one else since then has. So yeah. Now, this is actually kind of rose some questions about like, or someone went back and noticed something, or remembered something, that you know that whip hybrid female who who stated that she'll be 82 years old and was actually called a hack by one of the other devil hunters. Yeah, that girl, people kind of saw her saying that she's gonna be 82 years old, and thinking, is this might be a connection between her? Or this like supposed to be kind of foreshadowing? because we have a character who's mentioned to be very old, or at least referred to as a hack, who mentions they are gonna be 82 years old, and now we know are dealing with the aging devil or someone who can stop aging. Even though I think the aging devil, even though I think the hybrid could just be because she's a hybrid, so she wouldn't age anyway, so at least aging wouldn't be as much big a factor. But regardless, even if it's not a different explanation of why she doesn't age, the fact there is some kind of connection, the fact there even is like a bring up of not aging is okay. The age itself being brought up does link these two things together, even if it's not one to one or the very reason. So that character being brought up saying she should be 82 years old, and here being brought up how this one guy was here for 82 years old. To be fair, I don't think the guy's right refers if there's someone that was before him was there, or if there's someone came after him, but that person was able to escape. It really means it's the same thing. It means it's the same. It's kind of kept ambiguous and exactly how the timeline is being referred to, but basically, there's just one person that escaped, but no one knows how they escaped. So, although I feel like it's kind of safe to assume that it is that Whip Devil user, but we have to wait and see on that front. If that is indeed the case. I mean, I could totally see like it being the case, actually. Considering the fact she wasn't involved until the very end of the story, it's possible that Malcolm might have something to do with it, but we'll have to wait and see if it was Control Devil or some other means. But yeah, anyways, we know this guy just says that, and then he starts to be immediately like, oh, yeah, you probably should go away from me. Because these managers, oh, by the way, there are some others with us here as well. It's just those all lost their minds, so it's best to just stay away from them. They're in the backs or in the front. So I'm assuming we're gonna see that like very whatever the fuck that shot is gonna be in the next chapter or a few times after. Because from what we've seen of this guy, yeah, when you lose your mind in this world, you start doing some really random shit. But anyways, this guy tells her that they should probably get away from him very soon because he's going to lose his mind pretty soon. Because and actually, I think he does believe that he lost his mind. It's just, oh wait, I guess this is some new people that I've seen or something. I mean, it doesn't matter if they are who I think they are, or maybe he views Yoro to be different or something. I'm not entirely certain, but regardless, he then says, anyways, to Itsuko, it's best that you go away because I'm going to lose it, so bye bye. So, who is this Itsuka? From what I could tell, there is no character in the story that was called Itsuka. Some of you may throw up the possibility that may be the girl that the Whip Devil user, but I'm not entirely certain. Regardless, he says Ritsuko, and then he basically loses his sanity as he then grabs a tree, or he's grabbing a tree as he's telling him to go away, or that he lost his sanity, as he then starts to screaming on top as he kind of looks like he's humping the tree, as you or us just look at him, Crawford, like, what the fuck is going on? I'm assuming that they're gonna compete as that, like, while they don't have to worry about aging, and also they're gonna mention that you don't, as long as aging, you also don't need food, you don't need to die. Even if you try to take your life, you aren't going to die. He brings those up, so maybe they're gonna you see how they're stuck there and probably seeing what's going to happen later. So maybe us are just going to grab the engine, is going to start looking for a way out. Until like maybe how this got maybe this if it is Control Devil is the one that got the Whip Devil out. Assume that is the case. I could see it being like this is how we're gonna reintroduce Utah in the story with her like coming. We've got first revealing that she's actually alive, not decapitated. But anyways, we then have. We have like maybe controlling the aging devil, manipulating the aging devil to free them to open a portal for you and well for us and Denji to get out of there or whatever. I'm also not entirely why he aging devil would bang that well bang the chainsaw devil since the two of them are since he wants to be eaten by him, but whatever he teleported whatever. They're now stuck in this world where the only other company is some people who lost their minds and are doing who knows what. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for the Chainsaw Man. We have to wait and see how this inside is gonna unfold later, but whatever, because now we have the final chapter of the week, which is kind of a very fitting final chapter considering it's October, with Mieruko-Chan, chapter 60, with no title because Mieruko-Chan doesn't have titles, just numbers. I'm really disappointed by it, but still, I can't understand. Like, I mean, I always make fun of chapter titles, so it's not really, so I suppose it's not that big of a deal, but whatever. So, anyways, we start this chapter off by telling us that in Mieruko-Chan's world, it's New Year's. So they do the whole traditional Japanese thing where they're like going to get their fortunes read. So Hana and Miko go to a shrine to get their fortunes as they pull out fortune. As Hana gets good luck fortune, as Miko kind of teases her a bit by saying, "And your stomach will be all good." With Hana, but wait, there's nothing about my stomach being good. As Miko says, "Oh, I added a bit for you." And then she gets a fortune, as Miko has bad luck, and as then Hana and Miko like, "Oh, great, more years of bad luck." Oh, wait, I know, Miko. Maybe you should pull out one more. I mean, I know you didn't. I know you're not supposed to, but it doesn't really matter. You could just take one more. As then Miko gets another one, and it's again bad luck. So I'm like, alright, pull another one. This one's the last one. As Miko pulls another one, and it's again bad luck. And I think the only difference between the three fortunes just is a different way to describe bad luck. So Miko is really gonna be unlucky. Like even a fucking I think we can all agree a sham or something that's badly true, something that people don't even view real. Like I do have to wonder what's the statistical probability of a shrine you getting the same fortune in one shrine where there's like a bunch of different fortunes all at once. But whatever. Miko's life is just misfortune after misfortune. So at this point, it doesn't really matter. But Hana is a bit upset the fact that Miko got like three bad lucks at a row. She's like, "Here, Miko, take mine. Maybe it will work on you. Let's hope it works on you." So yeah. Anyways, then uh Chie and Noda, I think the two girls who are regularly shown in Miko's classroom, or are the two like how do I say like the two girls who are there's gonna be any female students that are gonna speak, or any student that's gonna speak that isn't Miko, Michiru, Hana, or the teacher, it's gonna be those two. So those two show up there and they're like, "Oh, hi Hana, Miko, how are you guys going?" "Oh, you do not gonna believe this. I got a bad fortune this year, and that just ruins my great fortune streak." As then Hana just grabs Miko's hand, holding the three bad lucks, and she's like, "Look at this! Miko got three misfortunes in a row," which even also like shocked. Like, how do you get three bad lucks in a row? As then they're like, "Wow, that's really impressively bad." As then and then Hana wants to comfort Miko, be like, "Oh, don't be mean to my Miko. She's being in very negative and depressing mood because of the misfortune she just got. Don't tease her, don't bully her." So yeah, being possessive girlfriend, so she's very protective girlfriend type. Not surprising. But anyways, then I think she says, "Well, you know what they say. If you have bad luck, then there's only one way to get rid of it." As then they go into karaoke, because obviously. So we have the girls in a karaoke place as Hamla is ordering like three fries for two piles of fries for herself, as they're kind of going through. So as they're preparing to sing, as then we have Miko remembering when she last time saw it, as well, she sees a ghost on the other side, and she's like, "Alright, there's a ghost nearby, so let's get rid of it." If I remember correctly, Rom used a heavy metal song to get rid of it, so she does it as well, but unfortunately this ghost is actually into heavy metal, so it's kind of a waste of time kind of thing, so she didn't, so Miko, after selecting it, just it does not work. As Hana, Chia, and Noda asking why is Miko singing, as Miko just, "You know what? You suggested Chio, so why don't you sing it first? I'll sing it last. It's not kind of my thing, so it's fine. But anyways, then we have a children's song from a band called Fruit Paranoia playing its Fruit Para kind of song Miko where it sings, but it's like one of those like little kind of funny trickery that it's done here, where you have the Fruit Paranoia team has like three members. One, two wearing fruits, and the other one having some kind of weird, gross monster kind of face. And the idea is basically like the two fruits kind of comfort and calm, and be kind of a mental health type of song that makes the third one very happy. But from Miko's perspective, she sees another ghost that has a very similar appearance. Kind of makes me think there might have originally been four members of Fruit Power, and that person just died, or maybe there were some original members that then were just kind of left to the side. I don't really know the backstory, but I can kind of assume the backstory from what I'm viewing. Maybe it was an inspiration for Fruit Power, but that's been since the pair just remain after they appear or something. I don't really know, but anyway, it's kind of a good little trickery because like the guy behind that, the third one, that's supposed to have a very gruesome mask, resembles ghosts regularly, but then you have the front one with a strawberry mask. But well, the front one that's a strawberry, and it also has like a very, but that one actually is a ghost or spirit as Miku sees, so she's kind of like, oh, alright, I get it. So the two on the side are the members, and the one behind with a good scary face is the human. Well, the one in front is the ghost. Alright, good, good. I can kind of tell the difference now. I imagine it's the eyes that kind of give away. You can kind of see the very over the top humanoid eyes looking, while the other ones have more generic eyes thing. Pulse out. And then we get like a scene where the two other girls are singing, but then Miko sees that there was on this karaoke. There's also Anaconda Anaguma theme song. I'm guessing as Miko starts singing his song because honestly, this point Miko might actually just be a fan of this guy because okay, at first she just used them to get like a guy to praise a lot on her phone, so the spirit lady would not suck. Because if a girl says, "Oh, this guy is so hot, this guy is so amazing, oh my god, this is totally my type," and then the spirit sees that the guy she's referring to is some kind of over the top macho man wrestler guy, and then the spirit is possesses of a pretty boy. Is like pretty boy macho man, two different. This girl is no threat to my living, which is funny because Miko is more likely into girls than men, or at least it's very suggests that she's into girls. So all that Miko really should have done is go playboying. They should playboy with. Oh my god, this lady sure can rock. Get and it would work just as well. Like, actually, I would be. Uh, Actually, I could totally see how they could have done this. Like, Miko is like right next to like one of those like magazines that they have in coffee that they have randomly spread. Like maybe this. I'm not sure how shops have magazines for people to uh, read while they are drinking their coffee or whatever, or something. Like there might be a magazine, something that she just grabs, something that looks like it's for a man, something that looks like it's a magazine with a bunch of like pretty people's hairstyles and all that. But she accidentally took a Playboy, but she's just kind of playing along. Oh my god, this lady sure can rock it or something. But anyways, we'll talk about Yuri fantasies later, or later at night when we have other stuff with ourselves. But whatever. But anyways, first they're kind of surprised that Miko is playing his song, but then somehow they kind of get into the spirit of things, so they're kind of playing along with it. I guess Miko's newfound fandom of Anaconda is not yet well known, which is fine because I think there actually is a comment about Hana telling Miko, would you? I get that you got a newfound interest in wrestlers, but you don't have to focus on them every time or every time they do there's some kind of marketing for them. And then I think in like an extra pages for one of the volumes, I think in the third volume of Mieruko-Chan, there's actually an image of Miko like getting a photo with Anaconda. Not sure if that is canon or if that's just something that was drawn extra, but honestly, that's why I would not be surprised if Miko does get a picture or sign autograph with Anaconda. Actually, I can already see the chapter. Miko is going for some very terrifying ghost, but then she gets into an Anaconda fan club, and she's just playing along naturally. And she spent the whole day with Anaconda fans being like I could start to see Miko's mom me. Where are you, Miko now? And I'm like, I'm currently in Anaconda fan rally as we are cheering for Anaconda's victory. See? Don't ask me how. I'm just enjoying my time here, honestly. So yeah, Anaconda for the sale because the ghost is gone after this little concert. But anyways, after this little thing, Miko goes to the bathroom and to probably get some new drinks for everyone because it's like, oh, because I don't know, like she seems to be in that like more of a public space or in between space between all the rooms. She then kind of gets startled by two guys who are leaving the karaoke room. And it's like, oh my god, uh, I got startled. I have to prepare myself. As then she looks at behind her and she sees the ghost that she saw previously looking at them, or at least she can assume that's the ghost that because she sees like this ghost. It's like seems to be like three different ghosts all glommed together. Like you have one main body that has like a bigger that's kind of going to like that big pop hat kind of thing, like the same way kind of looked at that pedophile ghost hat. But then you also see two hats inside. So Shimiko's like, oh, this has to be the one ghost there. As this ghost and Miko kind of catch each other's eyes, and Miko's like, oh shit, oh shit, just play along. I got startled by two guys leaving. It's nothing. It's not weird for me to wanna. It's not weird to just play off like you didn't see it. Also, I posted this on my I posted this on my on the I posted this on YouTube about like this ghost looking very similar, but I can't put my finger on it. So if anyone here has any idea what this ghost looks like, on what this ghost kind of looks reminds you of, because this ghost really looks like I saw it in a creepypasta once, but I'm not entirely certain what it is. But anyways, Miko wants to run away from this ghost, but doesn't want to make suspicious, so she's just like, all right, I'll just have to get to my room normally, and then this ghost will understand that I was simply shocked, or this ghost will comprehend that I was simply shocked from those two leaving, so I looked behind myself and did not see it. It was just a natural reaction. Probably happens all the time in this place, honestly. You probably get spooked by loud noise out of nowhere all the time. So just find my room, find room 17, 17, 17, or 17. As then she sees room 17 as she opens it and goes inside, but unfortunately it's a wrong room. It's revealed in the end of the chapter, but basically when Miko was looking at the rooms, she was looking for 17. But the thing is that due to the spiritual power, probably placed there by the ghost that I'm just gonna know, Mr. Sato is in that room that Miko entered. It looked like a 17, but actually it was 18. It was just covered with the spooky stuff, and that's how Sato confirmed, oh yeah, Miko can see us perfectly. She's aware of everything. But anyways, Miko got tricked into it, so she's now in the wrong room, and she wants to immediately leave. But Mr. Sato stops his song because he was kind of like waiting there. I imagine he was stalking he had one of the ghosts stalking her, and then when they went to a karaoke place, he was like, oh, we'll go there. We'll hide next to in the room next to them. I imagine the ghosts were like, room 17, Mr. Soto. Miko's group is in room 17. Alright, we'll take room 18 and put a 7 and we'll put a 7 on it to make it look like. So we'll see if she'll be tricked into this room to see how well her sight is. So she saw that. So they got her in there, and then they were just kind of playing along until Miko entered. All right, now that we enter, we can start our talk. Which, to be fair, Mr. Sato is kind of like acting. I was saying the way he acts during that office chapter was like, oh yes, everything's good. Oh, wait a minute, you're looking for papers, huh? Have you tried checking behind the printer again? Things usually end up falling down there, so it's very likely to be there. Oh come on, sir, be nice. It's just, it's fun. A dog die. Everyone has those pets that we cherish when we were children. It's not weird to go check it. And besides, he can just work over and just work overtime the next day. After all, we always end up getting afterwards very quickly when someone has to work overtime unexpectedly. So why not just give him a break at this hour? And besides, he's gonna just end his shift in a couple of hours anyway. So just like an early leaving, if anything else. So, kind of his very nice gentleman act, but we know that Mr. Sato is not the type of guy that's true. As then he points out, yes, I'm aware that I'm a seer. I'm aware there's a bunch of ghost men in suits here, and I know you can see us. In fact, I no, you entered room 17 because to you it looked like room 17, right? So let's have us sit down and talk a bit. And now I'm kind of concerned because if you remember in that same chapter, Rom went to the meeting room that Mr. Sato gave him, and he checked it out, and it was like a very isolated place, a place that's not really like, you don't want to be stuck with someone alone, especially if that someone has like an army of ghosts. So he was like, yeah, I got scared, and I went to a different place, a more public place, so yeah, my apologies. It's just like, no one wants to be stuck alone with you, especially because of your real personality. Because remember, this guy heartlessly killed a lost spirit girl, so yeah. This is kind of, so Miko being alone with this guy is a bit of an issue. I don't want to say that he's gonna kidnap her, but I can easily see him like, holding, especially since she came here with a group and you can't really, it's one thing if he took her to the side, if she was walking alone. After all, it's easy to just like, I imagine it's easy to just like, to have take her to wherever, but with a group, if she doesn't appear back and she's nowhere here, it's kind of suspicious, especially even if like, especially since her friends do recognize already that, like, isn't she take a little long for just going to a bathroom break or something? So yeah, I'm thinking it's just gonna be like one of those like intimidating questions type of thing, or either that, or he's just gotta tell her, I see, you can see them for a few months now. Good, good, good. You can see pretty high level ones. I see, and you're not concerned about the Green Reaper one. Yeah, Rom told me that as well. Now, here's the thing. I want to have a long talk with you about this stuff because I'm a little bit more into this world than even Rom is. So I think it'll be best if we meet another place. Hey, meet me in this location at this time period. I'm sorry, I have work, you see. So my apologies. You see, I have a day job, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to. We're a bit late, but you can always say. I'm sure that your mom is not gonna be shocked if you have to leave with your friends or something. So I could easily see something like that. So, and unlike with unless if she calls Rom or contacts Rom and knows who he is, she probably will not think it weird that they want to meet into a different place. I mean, that is kind of what happened with the fortune teller lady. So her going into that would not be suspicious until she actually saw the place. You're like, all right, I think I better not be here. As he immediately stops. So like I could easily see this, but anyways, we're gonna see what is going to happen, how the discussion is gonna go. Because like the thing you have to remember is while we've definitely had like bad people in Mieruko-Chan, we never had like a true human antagonist so far. So Mr. Sato could just be another red herring. How actually we did have a bunch of like red herrings Like we have the guy who looks like a gang mafia guy, but he's just awkward and has a hard time talking to people, and just wanted the cat, but he didn't know how to interact and anything. The teacher was first thought to be like a serial killer, and technically he was a serial killer, but he wasn't like a heartless monster. He was punishing the ones who were killing innocent cats, the one who was stopping cats to be brutalized. And then we have Michiru and her sister. Both of them could be antagonists, but then it was just revealed there was like a family problem, not lack of communication type of stuff. So we're gonna see how much of an action antagonist Mr. Sato is gonna be, but right now I'm not really not exactly happily calm about her meeting Miko, especially with being surrounded by a bunch of those spirits. I will not be surprised if kidnapping is one of the things that is going to end up happening here, but we have to wait and see. So, yeah, anyways, this is the end of the chapters I've read this week. I hope you like this video. I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters and some other manga chapter series you've read this week. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And when that's it, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.